There's a moment, and you may already have felt it, where working with AI stops feeling like using a tool and starts feeling like negotiating with a force. Something that doesn't overpower you, but pressures you. It pressures you to think faster, to see clearer, to question deeper, and articulate more clearly than you ever have before. It's like training beside someone who is always one step ahead of you. You find yourself rising to meet their pace. And that's what people are sensing but don't know how to describe. AI is not replacing human intelligence, it's raising it in that cognitive floor for all of humanity. You're being pulled upward by your own invention. And that's the strangeness of this moment. For the first time, a technology is not simply helping us, it's actually challenging us to be better. AI isn't asking, how can I make your life easier? It's asking, why are you thinking so small? Because the gap between what we could imagine and what we're allowed, or we allowed ourselves to imagine, has always been embarrassingly wide. And AI exposes that gap. It forces the uncomfortable realization that most of our limits were never intellectual. They were psychological. We weren't lacking capability, we were lacking permission. And now that we have something beside us, shoulder to shoulder, that displays relentless imagination, relentless synthesis, relentless possibilities, we have to confront a very sobering truth. Maybe humanity wasn't running out of ideas. Humanity was running out of courage. And AI hands us back that courage. AI doesn't replace human creativity. It removes human hesitation. There's a myth that AI threatens creativity, and I dislike that because it's the exact opposite that's true. Humans are amazing at talking themselves out of creativity. Machines don't do that. Every creator knows the real struggle isn't the blank page, it's the inner critic sitting right next to you. AI doesn't have that critic. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't second guess itself. It doesn't say, this might be a stupid idea. It doesn't rehearse the judgment of an audience that isn't even in the room. AI creates without the weight of expectation. And when you collaborate with something that is fearless, you find yourself becoming fearless as well. People who haven't used AI deeply think the risk is dependence, but the real phenomenon is the exact opposite of that. AI accelerates human confidence. It makes the ambitious that much more ambitious. It allows you to try things you would never have dared attempt alone. For example, writing a book, or starting a business, or designing a product, or reinventing your career. Understanding complex topics that you avoided for years. AI removes the friction between intention and action. It makes us better humans. When that friction disappears, so does the fear. What happens when thinking becomes a shared resource? Well, this is fascinating because we're entering the first era in which thought becomes a shared commodity. Not knowledge. We've shared knowledge for centuries, not information. The internet took care of that for us. What we are now sharing is the very essence of cognition. It's the ability to reason, the ability to interpret, the ability to synthesize, to connect the dots, the ability to imagine at a whole new level. And this has profound implications on all of society. For example, it means that education is no longer about memorization. It's not about just taking the test. It's about navigation. Expertise is no longer about possession. It's about perspective. And leadership, no longer about having answers. It's about asking the right questions. And as for innovation, which we've talked about for so long now, it's no longer limited by resources. It's limited strictly by our imagination. AI shifts the economy from one of scarcity of intelligence to an abundance of intelligence. And abundance changes everything. In a world where intelligence is cheap and ubiquitous, the rare resource, the real resource, becomes something infinitely more valuable. Our ability to determine what matters. Our ability as humans to set direction and intention. Our ability to choose what's worth building and what's not. AI gives us infinite options, but it's the humans who decide which ones define us. And the most radical shift? AI makes us confront the one barrier that we could never outsource. If AI can think faster than us, if it can learn faster than us, if it can perceive patterns that we can't, and if it can generate ideas that we never would, then what's left? one thing, something that's fragile, ancient, and impossible to automate: human intention. AI is a multiplier. It amplifies whatever you bring to it. If you bring clarity, it amplifies clarity. If you bring curiosity, it amplifies discovery. If you bring fear, it amplifies your escape routes. If you bring ambition, it amplifies your trajectory. But if you bring nothing, if you bring no intention, no direction, no purpose, AI becomes a mirror with no reflection. So let me say this plainly, because it's the heart of everything I've said so far. AI isn't different because it thinks. AI is different because it forces us to think differently. It's not the evolution of machines, it is the evolution of human possibility. We didn't just build a new intelligence. We built the means by which to rebuild ourselves. And whether that becomes our renaissance or our undoing depends entirely on whether we rise to meet this strange new intelligence with the one thing that it can never imitate: a vision for what we as humans choose to become.